Tonight on CTV News at 6. For him, it's personal.
My own father, who was a firefighter, died a line-of-duty death due to occupational cancer, so it's certainly really close to my heart.
Sudbury's fire chief talks about money to improve firefighter safety. Exciting news for Sault Ste. Marie.
I think it makes me happy that there's a chance for us to benefit from it.
Algoma Steel signs a deal with a South Korean submarine maker. And new transmission line.
The truth is, Ontario has what the world needs.
The province announces a project that it hopes will unlock the North's economic potential.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you're with us on this Wednesday. The Ontario government has declared the Greenstone transmission line a priority project to better power the North and unlock economic potential in the Ring of Fire. CTV's Madison Merrier has that story.
Ministers and Indigenous chiefs met today to announce the next step Ontario's government is taking as part of its plan to protect Ontario.
Ontario is giving the green light to not only build, but to accelerate the Greenstone transmission line, which will help displace diesel power. And yes, it will connect us to the gateway to the Ring of Fire. The truth is, Ontario has what the world needs. We are an ethical, reliable, democratic partner that has the vision to build the roads and transmission lines to help us improve not just the quality of life in the North, but also to help electrify the mines.
Hydro One will be responsible for the development and construction of the transmission line to meet projected demands. The province believes the electricity demand will increase by 81% by 2050.
I grew up in the town. I get a little emotional when I talk about small town that at one time was two of the largest, richest gold mine in Ontario. And to see where it is now, it's very touching. But we will help grow this community, which has been in decline for many years.
But in the North, the Greenstone transmission line will address something even more basic. It will address resiliency and reliability, something these communities have not had in the past.
Indigenous communities will also have joint ownership of the line with Hydro One's First Nation Equity Partnership model.
It delivers revenue, jobs for their companies and for their communities. And frankly, it demonstrates the power of partnership when we're up against a common threat in the U.S.
The project will add 7,000 jobs and is set to be completed by 2032. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Police in Sudbury have directed extra resources to address intimate partner violence, and results are showing their efforts are working. CTV's Angela Gemmel reports.
When a woman arrives at our door,
the executive director of Cedar Place Women and Family Shelter speaks to the Police Services Board in Sudbury. Although the shelter is mandated to provide housing for women and children experiencing homelessness, she says intimate partner violence is one of the predicting factors.
Nearly all the individuals that we serve have experienced coercive behaviors and intimate partner abuse. I do not need to share with you the increasing demands that has placed upon the police department.
It's been more than 2 years since Sudbury joined others across the province in declaring intimate partner violence an epidemic. To help address the problem, Sudbury Police began a one-year pilot project last summer, which designated a specific unit just for IPV cases. They also added virtual reporting for victims.
These people can actually go online and make the report, and they don't have to come in person. And for some people, I think especially a woman that's been abused, to maybe come into a police building could be a bit intimidating. So doing it online is working.
Over the past 6 months, the unit has dealt with 511 IPV calls and conducted 56 IPV-related arrests. The police chief told the board that based on this success, it's likely the pilot program will become permanent. However, the board agreed that more work still needs to be done since GSPS still gets an average of 8 IPV calls a day.
We just really want to do everything we can to enhance our own service delivery, whether it's preventative and also in support of victims in intimate partner violence. But we are looking to expand this.
Deputy Chief Hiltz told the board work is in the early stages between police and other community partners to create a hub or a one-stop shop where victims of IPV would be able to access services and supports. Angela Gamble, CTV News, Sudbury.
Anishinaabe police have arrested a woman in Attawapiskat, seizing more than $12,000 in drugs. Officers saw a woman leaving a business yesterday on Balsam Street who was wanted on outstanding warrants. They arrested her and learned she was also in possession of $12,400 worth of methamphetamine. The 29-year-old has been charged with trafficking. Greater Sudbury Fire Services recently received provincial funding to improve firefighter safety. CTV's Alana Everson reports.
The career of the Chief of Fire Services in Greater Sudbury spans over 30 years as a firefighter, a paramedic, and serving in several leadership roles. Over the past decade, Rob Grimwood says he has been a voracious advocate for firefighter health and safety.
A lot of people think about the dangers of being a firefighter and they think about fires and explosions. The reality is the single biggest danger to a firefighter is their increased risk of occupational cancer.
Grimwood says firefighters have a 14% increased chance of dying from cancer than the general public.
It's because of the inhalation and absorption of toxic carcinogens that we encounter during our work extinguishing fires. The products of combustion and the smoke caused by that are a toxic soup of chemicals that traditionally have absorbed through fire department personal protective equipment.
The grant will cover the purchase and installation of specialized decontamination technology, including new bunker gear washing and drying units.
The fire workers that we have play a pivotal role in our community, and the health and safety is top of mind. With the support of the province, we're able to do this. We're very grateful.
Most importantly, to purchase specialized washing equipment so that our breathing apparatus are thoroughly washed and decontaminated after fires.
Grimwood says he has a very personal connection to this occupational hazard.
My own father, who was a firefighter, died a line of duty death due to occupational cancer, so it's certainly really close to my heart.
The cost of the decontamination equipment is just over $300,000, and the city confirms the provincial grant will pay for it. The new equipment is expected to be installed by the spring. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
A multi-million-dollar deal for Algoma Steel hinges upon a South Korean company earning the contract to build Canada's next fleet of submarines. CTV's Corey Nordstrom spoke with the Steelworkers Union to see what this deal could mean for workers in the Sault.
Lean times are coming at Algoma Steel, with significant layoffs under 2 months away. But a possible $345 million injection from South Korean shipmaker Hanwha Ocean could raise spirits. Union officials are hopeful that Ottawa chooses the South Korean bid for its submarine contract, where Algoma Steel will be the main steel provider.
I think it makes me happy that there's a chance for us to benefit from it. I have no idea what the German company and what the deals were, so it quite possibly may benefit Canadian workers just as much in other locations. I'm concerned about Algoma Steel.
If Hanwha Ocean is successful, it will invest $275 million into Algoma to create a steel beam mill, with promises to purchase from the Sault steel plant making up the rest of the deal.
A lot of these deals in the past it's then these companies from other countries taking ownership or buying in, being partners with us. I'm happy with the way this deal is laid out, that yes, we're going to be maybe paying back some money to the South Koreans, but they won't have any ownership or anything in Algoma Steel.
While it wouldn't be enough to avoid the layoffs coming in March, Slater believes it could prevent further cuts in years to come.
I think what I'd be happy to see is you know, the project started, not necessarily shovels in the ground, but all the things put in place for it to happen this year.
Algoma Steel officials did not respond to an interview request for this story. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Now it's time to talk weather. Still on the cool side out there. To bring us the latest, here's CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Tony, very cool. As a matter of fact, very cold, not only this evening, but overnight. You'll be surprised at some of those wind chill factors coming up, as we'll talk about that and more in the 7-day forecast. Our systems map, courtesy of Environment Canada. We've got loads of sunshine for tomorrow, but your wake-up wind chill will be startling. It'll be cold. But then again, we've got the warm-up, Tony, just a couple of days away, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday, and some of those single-digit temperatures will surprise and warm you. Details coming up a little bit later on. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. The city of Sault Ste. Marie is reminding residents the significant weather event it declared on January 19th isn't over. This is how the city looked last night as snow continued to fall. City officials say crews are continuing to work around the clock, sanding, removing snowbanks, plowing sidewalks and roads. We have plenty of news from municipal councils in our region. Still to come on CTV News at 6, we take you to Timmins, where the mayor's vetoes were overturned. Right now, we're heading to downtown Timmins. This live webcam is courtesy of that city. It's minus 22 Celsius. We are back after this commercial break.
Fuel your Fridays with CTV and Pure Country. Enter online for a chance to win a $100 gas gift card. Fuel your Fridays. Powered by CAA. Life isn't one size fits all. Neither is CAA.
Time now for a look at the mayor's chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're dealing with. Joining us tonight in studio is Mayor Paul Lefebvre from Greater Sudbury. Mayor Lefebvre, welcome.
Thank you for having me again.
I want to start. Lots of big changes happening at City Hall. It seems very transformative, I guess, is maybe putting it even nicely, because I know it's more complex than that. Talk to me about your position, because we haven't had a chance to talk to you about this yet. From where you stand, this a good thing?
Well, for sure, we're bringing the city forward, and there's some changes that need to be made. And again, that's the role of the CAO, right? The CAO has a responsibility of putting her team together and moving the organization forward. That's why changes were made at her level. We're very supportive. I'm very supportive of the changes that she has made. It's never easy, but that it's important for the organization sometimes to make those changes to bring it forward.
I want to talk to you about the position of the Auditor General.
Sure.
I remember once upon a time, I was at the media table when the media table on the council floor was a thing. Yep. And it was Mayor Rodriguez at the time when that Auditor General position was created, and we heard transparency, transparency, transparency. Yep. How do you equate the loss of this position to the taxpayers and go, you know what, we will still be transparent, because that building 10, 20, 30 years historically sometimes doesn't have the greatest reputation for transparency.
That's why we made the changes to some of the staff as well. But I would say that that position in Ontario, and looking at other municipalities, there's 440 municipalities, only 5 have an Auditor General's office, and we were one of those 5. So certainly council decided, you know what, maybe we don't need that full extent of that external auditor, that internal auditor doing that type of work. We are now looking at what other municipalities are doing it, and how are they doing their internal audits without acquiring a full-time auditor's position. So we are actually waiting for staff to come back with some recommendations, looking at other municipalities in the province of Ontario. As I said, out of 440 municipalities of Ontario, only 5 had an Auditor General. We were one of them. We just didn't think that was the right investments to be made. However, transparency is always key, and that is important that we certainly have the public's continued support with that, and that's why, again, we're going to be coming back with recommendations from staff to us, and then we'll have options. The council will decide to ensure that we continue to be transparent and making the ability to have those internal audits.
You spoke about this being the job of the CAO. Just tell me a little bit with the timeline. When were councillors notified?
No, certainly councillors were actually, it's the CAO's decision to make the changes. With respect to the Auditor General, that was a decision that we had made and closed at budget time. So we had a meeting in closed during budget time. We had to make that decision, but because it obviously involves personnel, those decisions are made in closed, and after that they are obviously communicated to that personnel after that time.
I'm down to about less than a minute or so, but I want to quickly ask you, we're heading into an election soon later this year. We have the new downtown event center coming. Yes. We've got a new look for City Hall, physically and the people inside. Was transformation always the key goal here for you?
Well, certainly was bringing our city forward, right? We have not seen any improvements to our infrastructure when it comes to our facilities and our amenities in our city for almost a generation. So for me, it was important that we certainly create an excitement and upgrades that we're required that were key. One of the arena that we currently have is over 75 years old. By the time the new one is built, it'll be 78 years old, and it's really struggling. So that, for me, that was an important piece of infrastructure, and we need to keep modernizing our city. There's a lot of failing infrastructure pieces that we have. Certainly, we're going to keep putting money into our roads. There's lots of needs there, and as well as our facilities and amenities, but certainly these were key pieces to showcase to our community that things can get done. We've moved things forward and a lot of decisions to walk it back. We can invest in ourselves, we can believe in ourselves and make that modern city that we are.
Finally, here I told you this off camera. Here I thought I knew a lot about you, and this came out of left field. Yeah. You were performing in a concert. Tell the people what's going on.
Well, I'll be joining the Sudbury Symphony Orchestra on Saturday night to certainly celebrate the arts in Sudbury. But I'm just not celebrating with them. Actually, I'll be playing with them. I'll be actually playing 4 pieces on piano and 2 pieces on saxophone. I have a musical background from way back in the day, and certainly dusting off the old talent, I guess, and then bringing back. And certainly, I'm just excited to be able to showcase, to share that with the community. And the symphony has been amazing to work with.
And you said that's Saturday.
Saturday night.
Saturday night. Make sure you check it out. Everyone, Mayor Paul Lafay from the city of Greater Sudbury.
Thanks for that, Ian. Crews were cutting down linden trees in North Bay today as part of planned vegetation management. North Bay Hydro says it's to protect the public and maintain electrical service. Linden trees along First Avenue East and Ferguson Street at Memorial Park are being trimmed. North Bay Hydro has been trimming these trees for decades, and that's had an adverse effect on the foliage. Aggressive pruning undermines the tree's health and increases the risk of failure that could cause damage or injury, which means the trees must be removed. City Council in North Bay voted down a motion to review its short-term rental bylaw last night. The review Councillor Sarah Inch proposed asked city staff to review their registration uptake, enforcement capacity, and overall bylaw fairness, as well as possible amendments to it. The motion also called for a temporary suspension of registration fees to not disadvantage those residents who are attempting to comply, while broader compliance and enforcement issues are looked at. The vote ended up tied 5-5.
There's no point in having bylaws that people don't want to enforce and people aren't following. This is being reviewed in Sturgeon Falls. I saw something that's being reviewed in Kelowna. It's more red tape. You have to provide the city with information in terms of, you need a dedicated person available. You need a fire safety plan. You need to provide proof of insurance, etc.
Council is expected to revisit the issue at a later meeting after Tanya Vraybosch requested a motion for reconsideration, which was approved. Council in Timmins has overturned the mayor's 2 vetoes of the 2026 budget. Mayor Michelle Boileau had used her strong mayor powers to veto a plan to spend $600,000 for a pickleball center at the McIntyre Community Center and $140,000 for soil for 7 ball fields. Boileau had told CTV News at the time her decision was fiscally based around the budget. Council had the required 2/3, voting 7-2, to overrule her and proceed with the original plan.
I was tasked with the responsibility, with the duty, according to the Strong Mayor Framework, to try to bring in a responsible, balanced, sustainable budget. And considering the state of the regional, provincial, federal economy, considering what everyone's feeling at home, cost pressures, rising costs, I say I'm at a loss for words because there were comments about overwhelming support for pickleball, and I believe it's all relative. There is overwhelming utilization of our food banks.
With the items removed, Boileau says the tax increase for the 2026 budget would have been 4.19%. As it stands, Council passed the budget with a 4.95 increase. This takes into account parks and recreation upgrades as well as infrastructure projects. Money from the levy will also support housing and growth strategies through the Community Improvement Plan. The municipality of Callander will soon have a new mayor. Council last night voting in favor of elevating Deputy Mayor Jordy Carr to the role to replace outgoing Mayor Rob Noon. It'll still need a bylaw. Noon and another councillor resigned in mid-December over what town officials will only describe as an investigation.
I'm asking for your support because I believe we can work together respectfully and constructively to guide Callander forward during this transition. I value each of your perspectives and I'm committed to collaborative leadership.
Town officials have not made clear why Noon and the councillor resigned. The departure now leaves 2 vacant seats on council, which council has decided to fill by application. They're also asking anyone with previous council experience to consider stepping forward. The next municipal election is in October. Back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Rick.
This is a prelude as to what you can expect with your 7-day forecast, Tony, coming up in just a couple of minutes. Our forecast radar, we've got loads of sunshine coming in. Cold tonight and cold overnight with the wind chill. I thought maybe we had seen the last of that, but no such luck. Here we go with our current temperatures. Minus 21 in Moosonee, minus 21 in Cochrane, minus 20 in Timmins, some light precipitation. Also some light precipitation in Kapuskasing at minus 20. Chapleau, minus 20 as well. Some light snow. Minus 18 Wawa, minus 13 in the Sioux. Parry Sound, how about some light snow at minus 8. Meanwhile, in North Bay, minus 14, some light snow, minus 17. Temiskaming Shores, a minus 19 in the KL. Kirkland Lake, Sudbury Nickel Belt, minus 14 for this evening, predominantly cloudy. Clearing overnight, though, minus 11 in Espanola, minus 12 in Elliott Lake, and minus 11 in Gore Bay. On beautiful Manitoulin Island, some light snow. Tony, 7-day forecast and the pick of the day coming up just minutes away. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Alberta's Chief Justices weigh in next on CTV News at 6. They are emphasizing independence after remarks by Premier Danielle Smith. And some provinces have signed on to the pharmacare deal, while others have not. Alberta's Chief Justices are defending the importance of independence of the courts in a rare open letter. It comes after a series of critical comments from Alberta Premier Danielle Smith aimed at judges and the judiciary. CTV's Stephanie Thomas reports.
The statement by the Chief Justices of Alberta courts posted online Tuesday explains the basics often taught in social studies or law courses, but the letter itself stands out.
It's not unheard of, but it sure is uncommon.
The letter addresses Albertans as proud Albertans. It says the executive branch makes policy, the legislative branch makes laws, and the judicial branch interprets them. And they all must work independently as per the Constitution. Premier Danielle Smith has made a series of comments criticizing judges, most recently on her weekly call-in radio show, when she said she wished she could direct judges regarding bail reform and wants provinces to help Ottawa appoint 2 levels of judges.
I wish I could direct the judges, honestly, Chris. The judges get very, very prickly when you criticize them, but boy.
And in November, she said,
democracy is when the elected officials make decisions. Democracy is not when unelected judges unilaterally make decisions.
Justice studies professors say elected officials should not direct the courts.
Politics change. The legal doctrine shouldn't change in terms of judicial decisions and things like that.
The notion of appointment and this is conflating American rhetoric and American messaging to the Canadian reality. It's not just apples and oranges. We're comparing grapes to watermelons.
A spokesperson for the justices say their letter was not in reaction to the premier. Still, Alberta's NDP justice critic says the UCP government actions, including Bill 14, put the justices on the defensive.
Premier lectures everyone to stay in their lane, but she is incapable of picking her own lane and staying in that.
CTV News asked Premier Danielle Smith for comment. Instead, in a statement, her press secretary told us recent court rulings had led to questions being raised about the courts, and her office respects the role of each branch of government and their independence. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
So far, only BC, Manitoba, Prince Edward Island, and the Yukon have signed national pharmacare agreements with the federal government. But today, the Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador says his province is more than willing to do as well.
Our province would be more than willing to sign up for a pharmacare agreement. Unfortunately, the program was introduced. A number of provinces were able to take advantage of it. I'm not sure why the Liberal government in our province didn't sign up originally, but I'm more than prepared to sign up for it whenever that opportunity comes.
The pharmacare funding agreements the federal government has signed make a range of contraception and diabetes medications free. Canadians living in a province or territory with an agreement who are looking to access these items do not need to coordinate benefits with private insurance plans, but other fees such as prescribing or delivery fees may still apply. Social media giant Meta is being sued in the U.S. and accused of creating addicted children. Meanwhile, the tech company is being courted by Ottawa to reinstate news on its platforms as part of trade negotiations with the U.S. CTV's Mike LeCouture has that story.
Like many local newspaper editors in Canada, Charlie Senak's job got a lot harder when Meta stopped allowing news on platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
I hear it from our readers too, who are incredibly frustrated that they can't find us on Facebook. It was a very quick and easy way for them to go and get their content that they want.
The Online News Act and Online Streaming Act have been called irritants by the Trump administration in trade discussions. Both laws compel U.S. tech giants to financially support Canadian TV, film, and music sectors. Instead of paying Canadian media companies for carrying their content, all Meta platforms blocked Canadian news on sites like Facebook and Instagram in 2023. Meta wouldn't provide a comment about renewed talks, but did point to these comments in October.
News publishers place their content on our platforms because they get increased distribution, and then they can monetize the clicks that they receive as a result of that distribution.
Kern added that Meta was hopeful news could return to their platform. The Identity and Culture Minister says talks are preliminary.
Canada's door has always been open to have those discussions. We stand by the value of the two acts that make sure that platforms are doing their jobs and making sure people are getting fair dealings.
But even that is welcome news for Senak.
If this does happen and we can post on Meta again, I think we'll be at a point where we can really start growing in even more ways than we already have, and with the added advantage of all the work that we've already put into it.
Last year, the Canadian government removed the digital services tax just to restart talks with the U.S. But it's unclear how far it's willing to bend with the Online News and Streaming Acts. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
And it's a cold one, Tony, for tonight and overnight. Let's begin with our forecast radar right now. Sunshine rolling into the northeast for tomorrow and no appreciable precipitation to worry about. Sunny and cold. Let's take a look at some of the overnight conditions. Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, Timiskaming Shores, North Bay. Pretty well. The chance of flurries overnight, but turning colder with the temperatures, and of course even colder overnight with the wind chill. Moosonee, take a look. Wind chill minus 25, minus 32 in Caphurst. Wawa minus 25, Gore Bay, the chance of flurries, and 5 centimeters of snow, Parry Sound, flurries and squalls. 7-day forecast, Sudbury Nickel Belt. Wake up wind chill minus 36 tomorrow, chance of flurries on Friday. Sunny skies for a couple of days on the warm up. 7 degrees, minus 7 degrees on Sunday, minus 7 on Monday, cooling off to minus 10 Tuesday, again with the sun and cloud. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, wind chill tomorrow morning when you wake up, minus 31, chance of flurries on Friday. Sunshine for a couple of days, minus 10, beautiful minus 6 on Sunday, even better. Minus 5 with the chance of flurries Monday, Tuesday. We've got minus 7 with sun and cloud. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, wind chill tomorrow morning, minus 33. Chance of flurries on Friday at minus 12. Minus 10, sunny skies Saturday. Sunday, cloud cover minus 7. Then it cools off once again. Monday, chance of flurries at minus 11. Minus 14 Tuesday with the sun and cloud. How about a look now at Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake? Mainly sunny tomorrow. Wind chill when you wake up, minus 36. Chance of flurries on Friday, minus 14, minus 10 Saturday, minus 7 Sunday, even better. 2 days of sunshine, then you've got sun and cloud Monday, Tuesday at minus 8 and minus 11. No real complaints with this forecast. Your normal for this time of the year should be hovering at around minus 9, minus 10, so you're pretty close even with Tuesday's numbers. Then there's North Bay and West Nipissing. Wind chill tomorrow morning when you wake up. Sun and cloud and minus 34 degrees. Friday, we've got the chance of flurries, minus 14, minus 10 Saturday and Sunday. Not a bad weekend there. Monday, minus 6, even warmer. Some sun and cloud Tuesday as it cools off once again at minus 10, minus 6 even next Wednesday. So again, that nice transition from some colder weather to some sunny skies and some warmer temperatures beginning Saturday and Sunday. Let's have a look now at our pick of the day. Bailey, the dog, waiting at the bridge for, well, Bailey's best friend. This is at Wishart Park in Sault Ste. Marie. Bruce Lee took the pick. Beautiful dog there, Bruce. I like that shot in the background as well. But I'm sure you're having a great time this winter with Bailey. The best of friends. I like that. Easter Seals Snow-O-Rama is back. We'll find out more with Tony coming up a little bit later on in the show. Stick around for that and more.
Did you know that 30% of Canadians will head to a sunny destination for a winter escape, and some plan to stay longer than a week? If you are one of them, this CAA tip of the month is for you. Start with the basics. Make sure you have proper travel documents and identification. Check that your passport is valid, as many destinations require it to be valid for 6 months beyond your return date. Print copies of important documents, and if you plan to drive, confirm your license is valid in that country. Next, be prepared for emergencies. Register with the Government of Canada's Travel Registration Service to receive alerts such as natural disaster warnings. Share your itinerary with a trusted contact, and know local emergency numbers like police and ambulance services. Travel insurance is essential. Ensure your coverage lasts the full duration of your stay and carry proof with you at all times. CAA Travel Insurance offers coverage to protect you from illness, emergencies, and unexpected events beyond what's typically provided by group plans or credit cards. And CAA members can save up to 20%. Getting a quote online is quick and easy. Pack a travel health kit and make sure you protect your money when you carry it or in your room. Consider using an RFID wallet and have access to secure storage like a safe. It is also important to consider an international phone plan or local SIM to stay connected back home. And before you step back onto the plane, make sure your home and pets are secure. Ask a family member, a friend, or a neighbor to check your home while you're away and arrange pet care or board pets long before departure. And lastly, research where you are going. There may be local customs, culture, language, and etiquette that you need to know. Download or carry translation tools or apps to navigate language barriers. So, travel smart, stay safe, and enjoy every moment of your getaway. And that is my CAA tip of the month.
If you have a used car to sell, you can trade it in at a dealership, but you'll get a lot more for it if you sell it yourself privately. If you plan to do that, you should know there is a new scam involving criminals tampering with your vehicle to make you think it has serious problems. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
I feel violated.
Mark Rafi and Carol Crawford of Paris, Ontario were selling their 2016 Hyundai Santa Fe. They listed it for $7,000 on Facebook Marketplace. Two people came at night to see the vehicle. One man wanted to inspect the trunk.
And he was looking underneath the mats and looking for the spare tire and had me completely occupied. So I was not aware of what the other person was doing, who had gone around to the car, opened up the hood.
It's believed after opening the hood, the man sprayed oil throughout the engine compartment. When the potential buyer started to go for a test drive, he stopped and backed into the driveway.
The other gentleman who was hanging around the driveway squatted down and sprayed or inserted something liquid into the tailpipe.
After a short drive, they returned, and smoke was pouring off the engine and out of the exhaust.
There's all this white smoke coming out, and the other guy who was in the driveway comes running around and says, look, he says, there's oil everywhere.
Rafi says the two men told him the engine had blown and the car was worthless.
It was like, oh my gosh, something must have blown because there's oil everywhere.
He was asking $7,000 for the SUV, but was convinced to take $1,000 just to get rid of it. The two men paid in cash, took an extra set of tires, and left. Rafi told his wife what happened. That's when they checked their security video.
We saw everything. I said, we've been scammed. I said, this is a scam.
This is a case of seller beware.
An auto fraud investigator says criminals will put oil on the engine and in the tailpipe to make the car smoke and appear to have serious mechanical problems.
They really presented a convincing story to the owner that his car has blown the engine.
Rafi is upset he was scammed out of $6,000 and that he trusted the two men.
To be taken like this, I don't know how somebody sleeps at night after doing this.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
In health news, researchers in London, Ontario are using so-called poop pills to help improve results for advanced cancer patients. CTV's Pauline Chan reports.
They call it fecal microbiota transplants, or FMT, also commonly known as poop pills.
It was the first time in the world anybody actually used healthy donor FMT in kidney cancer patients.
Blue capsules containing the diverse gut bacteria of healthy donors.
On average, we have to screen 43 people to get a person who passes the screen.
Saman Maleki says the gut is actually the largest immune organ in the body.
The drugs that we are giving kidney cancer patients are immunotherapy drugs. These drugs work through activating the immune system.
But there are side effects.
They can activate an immune response against the lining of our gut, and the patients can experience severe diarrhea or colitis. And sometimes that can be actually life-threatening.
Researchers at London Health Sciences combined FMT with immunotherapy for 20 patients with stage 4 kidney cancer, and they found that not only did response to the immunotherapy improve, those potentially life-threatening side effects were almost gone.
So we are dealing with a combination treatment that is safe. It can improve response, but also it can reduce toxicity and improve your quality of life as a patient.
Not only did it help kidney cancer patients, a second study out of Montreal looked at other cancers.
From the lung cancer study, we showed that the response rate to immunotherapy went from about 40% to 80%. And in melanoma, it went from about 55% to 75%.
FMT pioneer Dr. Mike Silverman says it's not just one type of gut bacteria needed, but a whole ecosystem. And they can even personalize the poop pills.
For patients who are on certain types of cancer drugs and other people who donate for people who are on different drugs. So it's personalized medicine.
And Dr. Silverman says if you're in the London area,
let us know that they might be interested in being a poop donor, because we could always use more.
More studies will be done involving earlier stage kidney cancer, as well as lung, skin, and pancreatic cancers. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The North Shore Health Network is advising the emergency department at the Thessalon site will be closed tomorrow. It's expected to reopen Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Blind River, Richards Landing, and Sioux Area Hospital are open. Anyone requiring immediate medical attention should call 911. A 28-year-old mom from Massey was a recent winner of Instant Banco. Santana Bob won $350,000 playing the scratch ticket. She says her 10-year-old son's birthday is coming up and he's making a wish list. Her wish list includes a new car. Congratulations, Santana. There is plenty of snow out there. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Ryma is back helping children with physical disabilities. The annual Ryma for Easter Seals Kids is back for its 51st year in Sudbury. The long-standing tradition allows snowmobilers to get out on the trails, raising money for children with physical disabilities. The cash will assist families purchase mobility devices, send children to their accessible summer camps, and fund their scholarships.
It brings the community together because the snowmobile community is a very, very generous community, and they come together for all the kids because they want to support the kids. They want to make sure they get what they need, their equipment and everything else. And we have families that come out that day, so they get to meet the kids, and the families get to meet who actually raises the money for them. So it's a win-win for both our community of Easter Seals and the snowmobile community in Sudbury.
And the event is happening Saturday with registration at 9:30 a.m. Espanola Snoworama will take place February 8th. Oilers captain Connor McDavid made a special visit to a school in Edmonton yesterday. Allendale School won a draw through the Ben Stelter Foundation. This year, 50 schools in the Edmonton area raised money for the charity to help cancer patients. The charity honors 6-year-old Oilers superfan Ben Stelter, who died from brain cancer in 2022. Every school that participated had a chance to win a Q&A with McDavid, and with their odds increasing, the more money they raised.
You know, kids helping kids, it's a special thing. You know, and what's the one thing I hope that they take away? I just hope it's the power of community, you know, and what you know, together we can all do for each other to help one another. You know, and I think that Ben would be proud of that.
This year, the schools raised $285,000. This fundraiser has raised more than $400,000 since it started in 2023. Demolition work will soon begin in the lobby and change room areas of Rogers Arena in Elliott Lake. That's according to the latest update provided this week to council by the project's architects. Since the last update, they've been meeting with all user groups, including the NOJHL, to receive their input on the new design. They add the final design is nearing completion, and in the coming weeks, each group will be asked to review the final layout. Work is also expected to finish soon on the exterior walls. We now know who will carry Canada's flag at the opening ceremony of the Olympic Winter Games. Olympic champions Michael Kingsbury and Marielle Thompson have been selected for the honor February 6th in northern Italy. Kingsbury is a 3-time Olympic medalist in moguls. Thompson is from Whistler, BC. She's also had an impressive career, winning gold in her Olympic debut in 2014 and adding a silver in 2022. From Super Bowl ads to BAFTA nominees, David Daniel has the latest in tonight's Hollywood Report.
Touching hand, touching cheese, touching you, sweet sandwich time.
Andy Samberg channels Neil Diamond, turning a diner into a concert hall in the new Super Bowl ad for Hellmann's Mayonnaise. Making her big game commercial debut, self-proclaimed Mayo superfan Elle Fanning.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
Not if I see you first. The top 2 Oscar contenders will also do battle at the BAFTAs. One battle after another leads this year's BAFTA Film Awards nominations with 14, followed closely by Sinners with 13 nominations. The 79th British Academy Film Awards take place February 22nd in London.
I know it feels like it's the end of the world, but it's not. I saw the end of the world. I had a ringside seat for it.
A Holocaust survivor who's never told his story connects with an alienated teenager in The Optimist. Stephen Lang from Avatar and Elsie Fisher from 8th Grade star in the drama. The first trailer just dropped. The Optimist, based on a true story, opens in theaters March 11th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The Bank of Canada is holding its key interest rate at 2.25%. This is data in recent weeks shows the country's economy has largely been stable and in line with the central bank's outlook despite U.S. tariffs. The rate announcement also comes as the Canadian economy faces an uncertain future with the scheduled review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement coming up later this year.
Our forecast for economic growth and inflation in Canada has not changed significantly since our October projection. As the Canadian economy continues to adjust to U.S. trade restrictions, we expect the economy to grow modestly and inflation to stay close to our 2% target.
Macklem says if the outlook changes, it's prepared to respond, adding it's too early to tell how the Canadian economy will adjust to the current tariffs and the ongoing uncertainty. Amazon is laying off 16,000 employees. BNN Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more on that.
This is the second round of layoffs for the company in about 3 months. Amazon says it is removing bureaucracy, but did not share which divisions are affected. The big tech firm had warned employees last year that AI and automation would mean a smaller workforce. The announcement of 16,000 jobs being lost follows the layoff of 14,000 employees in October. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 73.76. West Texas Intermediate is up to 63.21. Western Canadian Select up over $2 to 47.07, and the TSX gained 79 points for a new record close of 33,176. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $72.88, closing the day at $54.90.58 US an ounce. Silver up $1.58. Copper moved ahead 4 cents to $5.90, and nickel up 6 cents, ending the day at $8.31 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Well, Tony, cold night for tonight. Very cold in the early hours of tomorrow morning with the wind chill. Let's take a look at tomorrow's conditions. In Greater Sudbury, minus 19, but minus 28 with the wind chill. In the afternoon, minus 18 in Timmins, Sault Ste. Marie, minus 15. All of a sudden in North Bay, it'll be minus 18 as well. Wind chill minus 25, Parry Sound minus 17, and Temiskaming Shores minus 18. Tony?
Thanks, Rick. And finally, the Chicago Blackhawks had a special guest in their dressing room last night, hyping the boys up for a game against Minnesota.
Keep that puck on your stick and get a win for Team Nick! Let's go!
That's Paula Giacomin-Terrio, the aunt of Blackhawks captain Nick Foligno. She was there to support a cancer research fundraiser in memory of her sister who died of breast cancer 16 years ago. Both her nephews are on the ice as the Blackhawks took on Marcus Foligno and the Minnesota Wild. While neither Foligno scored in the tilt, Marcus and the Wild picked up the win 4-3. And that's our show. On CTV News at 6, I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.